Finally, Larian Studios has given us an update regarding patch 7, which is coming in September of this year, so not too far off. There's a lot of interesting, cool stuff to talk about today. So let's jump right in. I will leave a link to this article down below in the video description. This is community update number 28, the closed beta, and this is going to be coming in September. So only a couple months away, which is pretty sweet. Hopefully it gets out before all the big releases at the end of this year. Larian just gives a quick brief summary of the article, split screen updates, brand new cinematics for evil endings, plenty of bug fixes, plus our official modding toolkit, which we talked more about in our last community update. I'll leave a link to that video that I made down below as well. Now Larian did say September for the release of this patch, but if we scroll down towards the end of the community update, you will notice that you can actually head to the Baldur's Gate 3 store page on Steam and register now for your chance to partake in the patch 7 closed beta, which will actually go live for beta testers next week on July 22nd. I'm assuming this is not something that can be streamed. I'll have to look into that because I'll probably sign up myself. But yeah, this is going to be randomly selected players if you register. So if you're interested in that, make sure to do that. Just wanted to include that earlier on in the video for those of you guys that are interested in testing it out and seeing how big patch 7 really is. So let's start off with the split screen updates. And this is a really cool way to start off the community update. And I didn't know that we were getting this or that this was a thing. I don't think Larian has mentioned this in the past, but take a look at this. You guys can see split screen co-op right here. One player on the left side, one on the right side, but that screen goes away and it merges together. And this is the new dynamic split screen mode that Larian is introducing with this patch. When players are close enough to each other in co-op, you'll now have the option to have split screens merge into a single screen when you're near one another. You can access this directly from the HUD and within the game settings, both in and out of combat. This is so cool, and it's not something I ever expected, and it's for only a small portion of the player base that actually uses split screen. But this actually makes me really interested in split screen because half and half is really annoying, especially back in the day. You guys remember playing like FPS games like Halo with like 4 little boxes, just really hard to see. This is really cool, not only just from a player's enjoyment perspective, being able to see a larger screen when you're near one another, but I think it also adds a lot to the immersion of a co-op playthrough. Really cool update. Okay, on to the next section, honor mode improvements. We're continuing to make improvements to combat in honor mode too. With patch 7, even more creatures have been bestowed additional legendary actions, including the Boulette, the land shark, everyone's favorite neighborhood surgeon, Malice Storm, and the Githyanki, Tskiskan, and Haraka, and Tess. Yeah. I actually love to hear this because honor mode is supposed to be like the ultimate challenge in this game. And even though it still is a challenge to most players, I would say, including myself, it still never truly felt like it was insanely difficult because there's so many encounters in the game that just feel the same as Tactician. And Larian appears to be kind of buffing that up and giving some more legendary actions to some of the creatures in this game, which is going to make it more interesting and more exciting for that patch 7 playthrough, which I will be streaming right here on YouTube and also on my Twitch channel. I kind of missed the boom of Baldur's Gate 3 on Twitch because you weren't allowed to simulcast at that time. So if you guys use Twitch, I appreciate a follow over there. Thank you. Larian also says that Dror Ragzlin will be able to use a new spell called Arachnid Compulsion to rally the spiders that reside in the nearby pit to fight the real enemy, you. So little buff here to Dror Ragzlin, our buddy here. I think he deserves it because if you just have good positioning in that fight, it's really not hard at all. And Larian's going to buff it up and those spiders will be able to jump up on you when you're up on the rafters. Moving on to the Baldur's Gate 3 modding toolkit. With this update also comes our official modding toolkit. Come September, you'll be able to load up your game with a range of new mods and even try your hand at making some yourself. So just long story short, the modding toolkit that Larian's introducing here will make it so that players are able to add mods that are approved in the mod system, I guess you could say, to their game really easily. No more going to Nexus mods and installing special mod managers and moving files around. The modding toolkit's going to be right there in the game itself. So it's going to be super easy, and console players are going to be able to install mods that make it to console as well. Larian's also making it much easier to create mods yourself. Really cool. Great for the longevity of this game, and it's going to add so much interesting stuff to Baldur's Gate 3 for all the players out there that aren't involved with the modding scene and maybe it's too complex or whatever. This is just going to add a ton of like mainstream popularity to a lot of cool mods out there, and I'm very excited for it. Right now, Larian is working with BG3 mod authors during the closed beta for this patch 7, and Larian says they've been busy testing out the toolkit. Now, the toolkit itself will give you everything you need to edit or create entirely new content, including items, so equipment like weapons and armors, consumables, and miscellaneous items. So expect a ton of new items in this game to find and test out and play with. We're going to have new cosmetics, including different hair, beards, and other textures. Of course, this is going to be very popular to add to your game. There's going to be new classes and subclasses. Larian says creating new variants or modifying existing ones to edit abilities, powers, and skills. I like that Larian's allowing mod authors to modify the existing ones with the official mod support. That's going to be pretty cool. So it's not just new classes and subclasses. Some mod authors are going to do some fun stuff to the classes that we already have access to. There's going to be more races, and these can be created and edited to determine overall appearance as well as their individual powers and abilities. We'll have the ability to edit or redesign dice skins. The user interface will be able to be modded here with the official mod support, including extensions and restyling of the game UI. It'll definitely be interesting to see what people come up with. And quality of life improvements, such as mods that edit or improve gameplay that don't rely on unsupported elements. Quality of life is always a good thing. Now, of course, there's going to be more stuff. This is just including, so we'll have to wait and see. But do notice that you don't see anything that says like quests or story here. So we may still have to go to like Nexus mods or other places to get certain DLCs that deal with that. Hopefully Larian gives a little leeway here, but I know there's something with the script extender. You can't mess with certain things. We shall wait and see. All right, on to the next section, which is about the evil endings. Minor spoiler warning given here, as you do see 2 little 1-second clips of these potential endings. Spoiler warning given. Larian says, of course, patch 7 will also be bringing several new cinematics that offer your more evil playthroughs a grander finale. From avatar origin characters, including the Dark Urge, to the multiple different pathways that you can take as your own player character. Each new cinematic is yours to discover through nefarious means. So not only Dark Urge, but also your own player character if you choose to go that evil route. Love to see it. Definitely doing evil for patch 7. While we don't want to give away everything just yet, you can feast your eyes on the teasers below and be on the lookout for more heading your way soon. So right here we have what appears to be the Dark Urge character, the default Dark Urge character, lying amongst some bodies here. And then if we scroll down, it says, would you lie with me and just forget the world? And then further down we have also the Dark Urge character, I'm assuming, levitating here with some folks from Baldur's Gate under the Dark Urge's command, with, of course, what appears to be a nether brain right there in the back right. So very, very interesting ending. I think I'm going Dark Urge as well because I want to see what this is all about. And it says, my sugar boo, I'm levitating. Then we have a whole ton of bug fixes for not only the Dark Urge, but also the origin characters. And you can see we have sections for all of them. Will, Astarion bug fixes. A lot of these are related to romance scenes and reactivity and the way that things trigger. We have Lae'zel, Karlach highlights for bug fixes, Gale highlights, Shadowheart highlights. So yeah, a lot of bug fixes here. I'm not going to go over all these because these are very specific. If you guys want to read about each specific one, if you're going to be playing a particular origin character, if you had a problem with an origin character, the link to the article is down below. And now we are on to the party banter improvements. Prior to this update, party banter between companion characters was limited to the characters controlled by a single player. In patch 7, multiplayer parties will support banter between characters assigned to different players, so that's a nice improvement. This patch also resolves issues that have been rendering some romance party banters inaccessible while adventuring. And now we move on to the Baldur's Gate 3 Toolkit Closed Alpha Progress, and this is basically a section where the mod authors that are in the closed alpha are talking about their experience with the mod toolkit so far. And basically, long story short, I do recommend reading these if you're interested in modding. The mod toolkit makes it much easier to create mods, and this is going to be nice because a lot of you out there that are not only just worried about installing mods because it sounds a little bit too complicated, you may actually be able to be interested in creating mods in the future, which has always been a process that sounds intimidating to me. I've never even attempted it. But with the Baldur's Gate 3 Toolkit, mods are not only going to be easier to install, but also to create. And we have 3 mod authors here, Padme, and also Techroot and Lost Soul, basically talking about how much easier it is to create mods with the toolkit here, and how much more enjoyable it is for many of them as well. Padme even says that she has a lot of health issues and modding's a good creative outlet, but sometimes it can be overstimulating, and the mod toolkit makes it much easier for her to focus on the art of it versus the programming and the coding, I guess you could say. And we have a before toolkit screenshot right here, and then in the toolkit you can see it's much more organized and simpler, less convoluted. We have another screenshot right here for some type of color mod, and we have another one down here as well. In the final two sections of this update, we have new merch online, so you've been waiting for it and now it's here. Check out our new merch available online. Let's check it out right now. Let's just see what we have, including 2 new original t-shirt designs by Anne Hellenrake, then the Baldur's Gate 3 OST on cassette. That's interesting. With exclusive bonus track. I might actually buy that. Down by the River Synthwave, a gorgeously ornate Mind Flayer poster, and more. So if we go back to the Larian store, I can see the Baldur's Gate 3 Long Rest t-shirt, which I believe is brand new. Let me turn off my webcam. That's actually really, really cool looking. I like how simple it is on the front. It just says Long Rest. And then on the back, you have the whole campfire design right here. This is a nice shirt because Baldur's Gate 3 players, or even other video game players, might be able to recognize it as a video game t-shirt, but it also kind of looks normal too. I like it a lot. I'm definitely going to pick up one of those. And then we have the other t-shirt, which is the Baldur's Gate 3 Best Friends t-shirt, and we have the Owlbear and Scratch hanging out together here. That's also a pretty interesting one too. It's also quite simple and nice. I like that. And then the final section is called It Ain't Goodbye Just Yet. It's hard to believe it's almost been an entire year since we launched BG3, but the journey isn't over yet. Patch 7 won't be the final update for Baldur's Gate 3. We still have a few things up our sleeve, including many community requested features like crossplay in a photo mode to capture and share your unforgettable moments. And we're working on a host of other enhancements, from gameplay tweaks and quality of life improvements to bug fixes and performance optimizations. We'll keep you looped in on when those are likely to hit a little further down the line. In the meantime, stay in touch with us on our socials, stay tuned, and don't forget to wear sunscreen. So it does seem like, as far as like story content and things like that, it's going to be over after patch 7, but Larian is still adding all sorts of things in. Of course, crossplay is a huge update whenever they get around to it. It won't be coming in September, but it's going to be coming at some point, and also photo mode as well. I'm not sure if Larian will end up doing like a definitive edition or not, considering we're coming up on 1 year since the game has been released, which I will have a special video for that day coming out on August 3rd. But yeah, that's basically it. I appreciate all of you guys watching, and yeah, I'll keep you guys updated on all of the future updates as well. And sorry for kind of rambling and doing this video quickly and maybe a little sloppily, but I didn't even realize that the news had come out until recently, 5 hours too late, and it's important sometimes to get these out quickly for people. Yeah, all right, whatever. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace. Follow me on Twitch. Bye.